Puff pastry consists of alternating pastry and butter layers. The purpose of the butter layer is to retain the water vapor that forms during baking in the dough for as long as possible so that the pastry will rise. The more consistent and even the butter layers are, the flakier and crispier the texture will be. Prepare the base dough by mixing cold water, salt, and cold flour to make a dough. Cold base dough keeps the dough cool, making it easier to work with. The amount of butter added to the puff pastry affects how easy it is to roll, how flaky it is, and how well the pastries bake and their taste and color. Good doughs are about 1/3 butter. With less butter in the dough, the result is less flaky, does not taste as good, and the surface is a lighter color. Large butter portions, on the other hand, overflow during baking. The hardness of the butter used when rolling out the dough has a big effect on how well the dough will succeed. You can make the texture right either through temperature or mechanical adjustment. The best rolling temperature for butter is 8 to 10 degrees Celsius and before starting to roll. You can best reach this temperature in a room of about 16 degrees. This will prevent the surface temperature of the butter from rising too high. Another option is by rolling fridge-cooled butter with a dough roller or softening the butter in a stand mixer. Butter that is too soft can easily overflow from between the dough layers during rolling, whereas butter that is too hard will crack and break the basic dough layers. Shape the basic dough into a square. Place the butter at 8 to 10 degrees centigrade on top. Fold the corners of the base dough around the butter so that the base dough forms an even layer around the butter. Press the base dough and the butter together into a rectangular package. Roll the dough into a long rectangle. Do not roll the dough too thin to avoid the butter layer from mixing with the base dough. Fold the doughs into 4 layers. Rotate the dough 90 degrees and roll it into a large rectangle again. Fold the dough into 4 layers again. Now the dough has been rolled 2 by 4. Wrap the dough in a plastic wrap to prevent it from drying and leave it to rest in the fridge for about half an hour. This will make it easier to roll and the layers will remain intact. After the dough has rested, roll it 2 by 4 again and leave it to rest in the plastic wrap for at least 2 hours in the fridge, preferably overnight. Roll the rested dough into a thin rectangle about 4 millimeters thick. Spread the large rectangle onto your worktop so there is no tension in it. Cut the dough into squares and make incisions in the corners. Place the pastries evenly on baking trays. Pipe Valio apricot jam. Place a half apricot on top. Let the pastries rest for about an hour before baking to avoid shrinkage. Bake the pinwheel pastries at 220 to 230 degrees centigrade until golden brown.